I'm definitely an anti-fascist. You should also be an anti-fascist. I really hope for you you are, because otherwise you should get educated and ask.
I don't like fascists, but Antifa generally are pretty fascist.
Oh my God.
My favorite thing about the Antifa in Europe is they're actually, at least here, they're no. Is that they're I'm not going to say they're harmless, because I know there's some extremely violent Antifa people in Europe as well. But here in Davos, they really are clowns.
Of Yemini for Rebel News in Davos, Switzerland, a day before the World Economic Forum is set to begin. Behind us, Antifa is rallying for God knows what.
Well, these are the folks we saw that were bussed in from Germany. There's two big diesel buses that brought these folks in last night. They're radical in their message, but they're not radical in their actions. They, in fact, organized with the city of Davos to stay in the city school. So they couldn't be more government official if they tried. I mean, you see the Antifa cloak there and some clowns. That's their best foot forward. But I think they're here to hoot and holler.
How are you doing?
What did you say? Can you repeat it, please?
I was just referring to your Antifa cape.
And what were you saying to it?
And I was saying that here in Germany, Antifa is very corporate.
We're in Switzerland.
But you guys are
from?
Germans.
Ask me.
Who paid for the diesel buses that brought you guys in from Germany?
I have a train abonnement. I took
saw
that.
the two big diesel buses that everyone was brought in. Who paid for those?
Oh, you think that's the problem? That's the big issue, or what is?
Why won't you answer my
I
question?
didn't come
Who
from
paid
Germany.
for it?
the bus?
Well, these
here.
because I saw the diesel buses.
Train.
So there are. We did see a couple of buses. Who's paying for those buses and the camp that you guys are staying in?
I don't know that, but everything is collective. We had a public crowdfunding of 5,000 francs. That's
5,000 francs won't get you the building that you got.
You know where we were?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
do
In
you
clusters,
think where you were?
in clusters Platz is where you guys are staying, correct?
I'm
In the
staying.
school. Yeah, you're camping
Slept
out there.
one night, yeah, as you can see on the website.
How did you arrange
How did
that?
you-
Did you ask me? I'm a clown. I'm
No, it
at
was
my
very
house.
similar.
I
It
thought
was
you-
very similar to how the BEF was organized. We
Klaus
just called
Schwab?
our friends.
Klaus Schwab
We were like,
funding you?
oh yes,
No, but
let's
it's
everybody.
similar in the organization. You know,
Guys are
people
sort of
organize, but we are more
fake protesters,
self-organized.
Because you're saying the same thing on the outside
Yes.
that Klaus Schwab is saying
Yes,
on the
yes,
inside.
Is there a big Antifa in Switzerland?
I'm definitely an anti-fascist, but this is not a movement. You should also be an anti-fascist. I really hope for you you are, because otherwise you should get educated and ask.
I don't like fascists, but Antifa, I don't know about here, but around the world
No,
generally are pretty fascist themselves.
Oh my God! Get informed. That's not true.
I don't know. Look, I
But
don't.
I'm
You
not
seem
like-
sweet. You don't seem
No,
like.
but
You don't seem
I'm
like
not,
the.
I'm not just Swiss, so
Where are you from?
I'm also Peruvian, and sorry, but no, it's not fascist at all. And I think it's a projection that has been said well on it. And the main issue why I also say it's important to have it is because the dialogue is quite big. And now with the war, I think you're aware, the dialogue between what is fascist or not is big. A lot of people are afraid.
Which war?
To speak out between Israel and Palestine. And I think a lot of people are very afraid. So I think it's important to say we are all anti-fascist. We should be. We had here the Second World War just next door in Germany. Switzerland, did they ever work it up? How was their involvement?
So what does the war have to do? I'm just
Not
confused.
just to say, because I think in this point it's important that we create the awareness that we have to talk about fascism. And
So who's fascist in that war?
No, that's nothing. Nobody, I would say, is fascist in that war.
No, because
Maybe I don't know individuals, but I would say in general the dialogue is the wrong, that we see it's about always this, and we see also that a lot of movements took a long time to, how do we position, because it's so tough, you know. And I think also for European countries, even more, like that's what I felt. And I think as somebody who is Latinx and Swiss, I can say, and I know how the Swiss multinationals and banks destroy my country in Peru, where we have impact of climate change way worse. And their fascism is also existing. Since 1 year, we have over 80 people that have been killed. Nobody here gives a shit about that while they're investing. Since the former president wanted to make a putsch, he was incarcerated. Her vice president came and she made with the ultra-right, with the Fujimoristas, she made treatments, and they started to kill people. They started to put police like this, but with active shots. You know, it's not like in privileged situations where we also are, where we have maybe repression. but there it's life or death. So sorry, but if I say I'm an anti-fascist, it's not, I'm in a movement, I'm in an no, sorry, this is the wrong dialogue. This is how media want to frame us. We have to speak about, no, fascism, authoritarianism should not be further accepted. We have to stand together as one community. In Peru, we have one vision, which is the cosmovision from the Andes, and we believe we all are a society, not just humans.
Can you define it? Because I'm a bit confused because you seem very different to the people that wear the same flag in Australia and in Canada. What is a fascist to you? Define fascism.
I kind of don't feel, and because he's filming and I don't know what you use, and I think we spoke last year with that for climate actually.
Ah, there we go. So, but
I don't right now, you know
So
what,
with
it's
the-
not my role, but I ask people, because there are, I think...
But you're the one wearing that flag. You're wearing
Yeah,
that flag.
I explained it to you.
No. So I
Because
want to
we
know
have
what. But I
right-wing-
want to know what fascism means
It
because
depends on the context,
Okay,
but
so
we
let me
know
give you.
in
Let me give you.
it's right-wing, especially white people in the context of Latin America, where it has not per se to do with the Second World War and truism or not.
white people
This
are
is
the
more-
fascists.
In Latin America,
Latin
it's, for example, much more. And there you see...
But you're wearing it here in Switzerland. So
No,
what-
but I'm here with my Quinto Suyo Suiza Peru, with my community as well. Huh? So don't...
I just want to know
But that's
why
why-
you're wearing
Exactly.
an Antifa.
To make a statement
And what's that
that
statement?
we have to be anti-fascist.
And
in
what is a
every-
fascist?
All of thinking.
And what's a fascist?
It depends. It's somebody right-wing populist that is willing to oppress other people. In regarding the thing, it's not anymore the discussion for me in all the context, the anti-fascist discussion, as it was in the Second World War. I
Well,
think
a lot of
that
people that
exists,
march under
but
that flag around the world, they act very fascist. Even
as
during
I
COVID.
explained to you,
Even during
maybe
COVID.
in your countries, which you just mentioned. So please don't project.
No, I'm asking. I'm trying to.
Because
I'm
I speak
asking.
about Peru
I'm
and
asking.
Switzerland,
I'm
and I
a-
explain
I'm
it.
asking.
Yeah, but you're not asking because you're making a statement and then you say not.
So
So
can-
no, if you're really interested,
I am interested in what
listen
you
to the
define
words.
fascism.
And I told you why I put it on, because it is different dialogues. And sorry, but in Switzerland, we have maybe another, it's more based on the Second World War. And as I say, in Latin America, it's another discussion.
Yeah.
But
Why
oppressive
is it-
and extreme right wing that are very often very.
What about
legal
extreme
allegations.
left wing? Can they be fascist?
Fascist not, because I think in the definition, but they can be extremist and they can be also.
They can't be
excluding-
fascist?
Fascist? No, no. It's
fascist is
I never met somebody
So
who is.
can you
who
give me the
identifies-
definition of fascism?
I mean, it depends, as I told you. For me, it
I
depends.
don't think you know what fascism means.
That's okay if you want to protect it, but I don't feel I want to give you an answer, so you can put me in a box that you want to frame it and put in. Now, you know what? Let's take care.
No,
But
no.
you know what? Be a good journalist and stop kind of putting answers into. Please put that with the rich people. Ask the, ask.
Oh, if you know who I am, you will
don't
see.
know who
You will
you
see.
are exactly.
I put a lot of questions.
That's great.
I'm here. I
That's
challenge the WEF, but I
That's
also
crazy.
I see it two sides of the same coin. I see you guys doing the same extreme stuff they do on the other side of the coin.
Where do we do that?
Well,
Where-
I think
what do
the
we do?
flag you're wearing represents that, and
In
you
your
either you don't know,
countries,
well
maybe.
around the world, maybe not here.
Not in Peru and not in El Aviala territory. Sorry, really not. So I think go once to South America and learn about it more, because I think the countries you mentioned that you know of seems, for me, I'm sorry, but it has maybe a little bit a closer identity also what is maybe in the European Western society. It's a bit more privileged, right? So maybe ask an Aborigine what he thinks.
About Antifa.
Yeah, and how he perceives it. I don't know, and I agree. Maybe yes, in some contexts where I cannot speak for everyone, so I don't say your truth is not true.
The truth is the truth, but
Know that your truth, what
I
you
don't have a
perceive
truth.
as
There
your
is a truth. There is no.
is not true, but I also say my experience has been different.
Sure.
And I ask you to respect it, and I wanted to explain it, but you kept on imposing it. That's just a bit tiring, because I feel it could be different. But yeah, move on.
I feel like as someone who is living here, I feel like
course, I know.
it's really
Last
important
year
that
we had
we
the same
enable
issue.
conversation. And if you say what does it stand for, or you put your framing what it stands for in your perception?
Because they're far right wing, rebel news, they're known, but for that, so they want to hear.
Why do you put me into a box because you read about me? Come and throw.
But in my
What views of mine are far right?
No, now I let you talk because I do your talk.
in my experience, it's very important that we enable these conversations, and I think it would be very necessary to have these conversations in a more broad spectrum as well. No, because now some people are meeting, and they can have their conversations, but maybe they are blind to some issues that are happening because we have the, not we, but like people here have the power, so we also have the responsibility. Let's talk about how far goes this responsibility and what can we do.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thanks.
you.
They are very different to the Antifa in Melbourne and Canada, but I don't know if is it a genuine they don't know what Antifa is, or I don't know.
Who is allowed to define that?
Well, they define themselves in Australia and Canada.
It's enough.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, when you talk about fascism, that is fascism.
I mean, I think that this is a very controlled and scripted thing. We saw in Closters, the town where we're staying, one train station away, these folks were bussed in on diesel buses. Everything was scripted. Everything was organized. They were handed their signs. There were a few leaders who were doing the chants, and everyone.
Sorry.
Oh, so
That's
where
not
did
true.
you?
Why do you think everything was organized and that's bullshit? That's just you can't tell this.
Well, I just did.
What?
You know what I find fitting is the clown costumes here.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. The clown's allowed to be a clown, but the message is very carefully organized. We saw them in Closters yesterday. It was like a military operation, and what was so weird to me is they were.
Not true. It's not a military operation. Sorry, mister. That's not true.
Okay, well, that's your
This
opinion.
is a military operation.
No, they're here to make sure you
WEF
don't
is a
smash
military
things.
operation. Sorry to disrupt you, but I will not allow
I got to
you.
tell you, Avi, my favorite thing about the Antifa in Europe is they're actually, at least here, they're no.
Making
Is that they're I'm not going to say they're harmless because I know there's some extremely violent Antifa people in Europe as well.
the police
But
is
here
extremely violent and the world is
here in
extremely
Davos,
violent.
they really are clowns.
From the promenade in Davos, on the day before it all starts, wefreports.com, you can follow all the action, and if you support our mission here on the ground, chip in a couple bucks, because unlike this lot, there's nobody funding us.
WEFreports.com will be here all week. These folks have to go back to Berlin, but we'll be here the whole week.